Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
Hello, Brian. I'm doing well. How are you?
Could definitely be better, to say the least. But obviously, privileged to be here with you and all of our loyal listeners out there. So it's just a tough time right now. Obviously, for the Yankees, the Mets have all of a sudden, out of nowhere, kind of fallen into this, after losing the last two games to the Braves. So obviously, you're kind of in the same boat as me right now. Obviously, it hasn't been as prolonged, but it's not a good feeling, nevertheless.
It's not.
So it's one of those things. You got to get through it. Baseball's a grind, and supposedly, and we'll get into it in a sec, but supposedly there is help on the way, which would be a welcome sight because obviously something needs to be done. But there's so much to get into, regarding baseball, and I'm just so excited. But let's just jump right into it. The world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy-Yo, not where did that land?
Smoke to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right. Brian having some technical issues back there. Brian, what's going on, dude?
Could you tell me what's going on with the Yankees, Tony? Because I'm getting tired of coming here and having to complain because it's just like every night. And of course, you all know by now, the Yankees lose once again, now 8-17 since the All-Star break. 3-1 to the Rays last night, and it's one run over their last three games. I definitely have never seen a Yankee team struggle this much offensively. You look at it on the night, you had one extra base hit, 4 hits, that one triple by Benintendi. He was 2 for 3, so I guess you could say, he did his job. But the one run was scored on an error. And then, I've been clamoring for Miguel Andujar, to get his opportunity here. And I know it's been very limited action. But, he hasn't done anything with it. 0 for 3 last night with 2 strikeouts. And I'm sure that's a product of, not being used to playing in the major leagues, to hitting major league pitching. But nevertheless, you expect more out of him. That goes, without saying, not to mention the rest of the lineup. Anthony Rizzo has really been struggling. Now his average is down to 218. I think he's like 4 for 34 this month. I know he, obviously missed some time with the back. Judge last night 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Josh Donaldson, the cleanup hitter, 1 for 4 last night. But apparently, for the offensive side of things, help is on the way. The Yankees did announce after the game, it looks like Clay Holmes is going to be put on the injured list with a back injury. So which is a good thing because obviously he's been very ineffective. And they are saying that Oswaldo Cabrera, he plays second, short, and third base for Scranton. Wilkes-Barre is definitely going to be on the roster today. They didn't announce any, other moves specifically, but I think we might actually have 3 new players on the roster today. In terms of Cabrera, there's mention of Florial getting the call as well. And then I think with the Holmes injury, because how they're specific with the amount of pitchers you need on the team, I think Marinaccio will get the call back up, which would be very welcomed. He's been highly successful here with the Yankees this year. So you talk about those 3 guys. I think that gives you a chance. At least, you could plug Cabrera, in at third base, send Donaldson to the bench, fingers crossed LeMahieu's in the lineup tonight. And then, obviously Marinaccio slots in as that high leverage guy, 7th, 8th inning. And then Estevan Florial, I mean, I think at this point, you have to bench Aaron Hicks and give Florial a chance in center. So in corresponding moves, I would imagine some combination of, either Andujar going down or both possibly Marwin Gonzalez and Tim LeCastro getting designated for assignment, because I mean, I think even the Yankees, who are, so hesitant to bring prospects up, are finally seeing that, I mean, you got to try something else. And I guess that was the thought in playing Marwin Gonzalez last night, but I think he was like 1 for his last 23 before the game, of course, goes 0 for 3. But I mean, there has been some buzz on Oswald Cabrera. I am excited for him. And, we've been talking about how important, it is to do something different. And I think that's what Cabrera, provides you. I know he missed some time earlier in the season, down in the minor leagues with an injury. But if you look at what he's done in AAA, he's hit 262 with 8 homers, 29 RBIs, slugging 492. And I know there's been a hot stretch of recent. And I just like the fact that you can get Josh Donaldson out of the lineup. I mean, we've talked about that many times. I mean, I think without a doubt, if George Steinbrenner was running this team, Josh Donaldson would not be a Yankee right now, because you can't, just make that type of money and just do absolutely nothing and then just, have a starting spot. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. And I hope that actually Andujar stays up and they just designate Marwin and LeCastro, because those guys are worthless, and let's give the guys in the minors their due. So obviously we'll keep you posted on when those moves are officially done, but it looks like, there's some help on the way. We've been trying to talk positives here with the Yankees, which has been very tough, when you go 8-17 since the All-Star break. But Nestor was Nestor. He did allow a 3-run homer in the first to my guy, Randy Arozarena. But other than that, I mean, you look at the line, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. So I don't think he exactly deserved to lose that start last night. But if your team's scoring 1 run on an error, you can't expect to get a W. Al Abreu out of the pen, 2 scoreless innings. Of course, when the game's not in the line, he's producing. But yeah, I mean, I think it's as simple as, and we've just kind of beat a dead horse here in terms of, you need LeMahieu in the lineup, you need Stanton in the lineup, and you need some help from the minor leagues. And I think we'll see all of that sooner rather than later. But obviously the time is now when you've scored 1 run in your last 3 games. I mean, I have been watching the Yankees, the first year I remember was 1998, and I've never seen them struggle as much as this offensively. And if you think about how long that is, I mean, that's 24 years of Yankee baseball. There's been some missed playoff seasons mixed in. There's even the debacle of last year. And even last year, I don't know if it was quite this bad, Tony. I mean, it is remarkable. And I know in the past, the Rays, their pitchers have given them fits, but usually that's like, okay, Tampa, but at home, I mean, and as pathetic as this sounds, I mean, you could at least count it for 3 runs, but to score 1 run in this series through 2 games, I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, like you kind of mentioned before, I mean, they are struggling with injury, obviously. With Stanton being out and LeMahieu, and what many people really didn't, I think, expect to say, but obviously, losing Carpenter was pretty huge too.
Massive. But
yeah.
Like we've talked about,
yeah.
All of that being said, no excuse for this. I mean, this is rookie ball.
There's no excuse, but I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, when you look at this lineup, like, who is really good in this lineup?
Obviously Judge.
Obviously
Rizzo. He's slumping. Tony, I mean, the season he's had a remarkable year.
No, yeah, a good year, but I'm saying, like, as of right now, I mean,
as of right now, but
not
I mean,
good, right? And then, Donaldson has been trash, I feel like, all season.
Trevino's had a great year for a catcher.
He has a good year for a catcher.
Glaber, up until this slump, had a pretty good year after the All-Star break. He's been
how much you like really trusting him, though?
Well, but see, you're just talking about how they're doing lately, not as far as
No,
what
even
they
in
should
general,
be
like
doing.
like Glaber goes on a good streak.
I mean,
Are
before the
you-
All-Star break, I was very happy with Glaber, honestly. But he doesn't even deserve to play at this point.
Oh,
That's how I feel. Benintendi, I think you really don't have anything to complain about there. I mean, you look at it just from a seasonal
Right.
perspective. I mean, he's hitting over 300. He had 2 hits last night. You're fine there. But IKF, I mean, it's like, I know he had the big game in Boston, the homer, the bunt,
but he's still like, I feel like the whole season. I mean, it's like been.
But it's very just mediocre. So
yeah.
it's like Peraza hit his 16th home run. The Scranton AAA team yesterday was down 9-0, won 10-9 yesterday. And Peraza was at in the center of all of this. And it's like, you're telling me they wouldn't be better off having him start at shortstop? It's just like, I know they're going to bring up the other guys. So at least there's that. But hopefully, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Maybe this finally gets them to change their ways in terms of being so reluctant to make changes. And I hit it on the head before. I feel in terms of Clay Holmes, I think it's the right move, whether this is a fake injury or not. He needs some time to get right, and then it allows you to bring up Marinaccio, who's been lights out. And I can't wait to see what Cabrera does. I know he's been, like I said, hot at the dish recently. And there's been a decent amount of hype. So I think you combine that with not having to start Aaron Hicks as well. And then if you bring up Florial. So I think having 2 new guys in the lineup, plus, having LeMahieu back, I mean, I think that could be the start of something.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't want to make any promises, but I think, that's pretty good.
Aaron Judge feeling some pressure, maybe.
Tony, I mean, it's just one of those things.
Come on, honestly,
you can't say anything bad about him, and he's gonna.
That's ridiculous. He what was the 7th inning? He had a good spot to maybe score a run or 2.
Double play, Tony.
Come on.
This is just one of those times. Listen, there's a lot of negative that can be said. 46 and 100. You can't say anything. Doesn't matter. 3 walk-off home runs this year. No one is setting the table for him. He can only succeed if he has help around him. It's that simple.
It's not necessarily true.
And
should be the opposite.
No.
He should be the help around the rest of the Yankees.
This reminds me of when Pooch is messing with me and he thinks I'm taking him seriously. But I guess I was mentioning Cabrera, on a hot streak. I guess this month down in AAA, 381 with an OPS over 1,000. And on Sunday he went 3 for 4 with a home run and 2 triples. So hitting 337, 7 homers, 19 runs, 23 runs batted in his last 24 games in AAA. So he's on a hot streak. So I think they're really going to welcome that. And I think Josh Donaldson is really, really going to see the pine right now. And I hope that they give Cabrera an extended look here, because that's what they need to do. And maybe we need, prospects to save this season. And obviously Stanton. And it was funny. My guy, Sal Licata, was going on a rant. I think it was yesterday about Stanton, how he's missed a lot of time, since the All-Star break, and how he's never available. And it's like, he's saying they just need him to take at bats, that it's ridiculous that he can't suck it up and go out there. I guess it's been like Achilles tendonitis or a sore Achilles. How do you feel about that? Do you think that he's soft in that regard, or do you think it's more the team here saying we need him for the postseason? We're just not taking any chances, honestly.
Honestly, maybe it's like a little bit of both. I could see him, not wanting to play because of it. Obviously, maybe he's a little scared of being injured, but I mean, Achilles tendonitis, I feel like, is something he's just gonna have to deal with. I mean, tendonitis doesn't necessarily go away. It's just something you have to kind of rehab, keep an eye on, and just be smart about it. And I feel like Stanton's just gonna, like you said, kind of have to just suck it up here. I mean, coming the playoffs, he's gonna have to suck it up. So he might as well get used to it now. So when the playoffs do come, he's, dealing with it successfully.
Yeah. And I'm expecting him to be, I don't know what day specifically, but definitely back on this roster next week. That'll be huge. So, I mean, you think about that. I mean, there's a lot of guys right now that are playing that shouldn't be playing in the postseason. And maybe this offensive lull continues a little more, and then they finally just say, you know what? We're just going to bring up Peraza, which would be the smartest thing that they could do. But we'll see about the impact that Florial, and Cabrera have, and they've still stolen some bases as well. So, adds that element of speed. And I know the Yankees this year have taken off on the bases, a little more than usual, but I think the more speed, the better. You just got to continue to just mix things up. And I really do believe that, it does just take one good game to get the confidence back. It almost reminds me of it, and I don't know if this is a good comparison or not, but just specifically hitting when it comes to baseball, reminds me of the golf course. You have a really good round or a really good couple of holes, and before that, maybe you were struggling, and then all of a sudden you think to yourself, boy, I could just keep doing this. I could just keep this up. I mean, do you kind of get that parallel there, Tony?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's maybe a few more variables in baseball, but yeah.
So I think confidence goes a long way. And honestly, the reason that made me think of that was me on the course yesterday had been going through a little slump, nothing crazy, not firing 130s or anything. But yesterday went 91.
That's too high
in White Plains. And you saw it on my Instagram story.
Yeah,
no lie. That was the 18th hole, chipped in from 56 yards.
That's really good, dude.
So pretty pumped, end the round with a birdie. And there's no feeling like that. Have you chipped one in before?
Once.
Was it off the green or down in the fairway?
Yeah, it was off the green, right off the green though. It wasn't
like a long roll in or kind of a short, like just perfect placement and then just right in.
It had like a good one hop and then a roll in.
You were fired up.
Oh yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, there's no better feeling like that. I just really want the hole in one. Haven't really come close though, honestly. I mean, I know it's just one of those things, but I feel like you could be like a really, really good golfer and then just not have one your whole life. And you could be absolutely trash and have like 5 of them.
Yeah, it's possible. Just like in bowling, perfect game.
Yeah. But I think bowling, I mean, obviously there's a lot more skill involved with that, versus a hole in one, I think is kind of luck. Honestly.
Yeah, that's true. But like people can get lucky.
Yeah. But then again, Tony, I mean, do I really have a shot at a 300? You've seen me bowl.
Anyone does, Brian.
Oh man. But so I mean, other than Tony, I mean, getting Stanton back, having LeMahieu in the lineup and giving some of these prospects a try. I mean, that's the only hope here offensively. I mean, where is the hope?
Dude,
where does the hope
honestly lie? there really wouldn't be any, because I mean, first of all, like, injuries happen, right? You're gonna have to deal with them. And if like the rest of your team is not hitting well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't really do much other than try and call up younger guys or wait for the injured players to get back. I mean, it's pretty clear that some players like Donaldson are really never gonna kind of turn it around and really produce for you. And even so, I feel like I'm not like totally confident in anyone other than Judge, I suppose.
You mean Rizzo?
Yeah, but even so, I feel like big spots. Year,
I mean, we were there for one of them.
For one, dude. Like what?
There's been more than one.
Yeah, I don't know.
27 home runs this year.
No, I mean like a big like this, like he's turning the game around spot.
I think
not adding to his. Oh, Judge homered twice, and then Rizzo has one after him. That's cool.
No. He's had some big spots. I think Judge and Rizzo are in the clear. Like I said, Benintendi as well, and Jose Trevino. He's delivered in some big spots as well. It's just about the rest of the guys. Glaber hasn't delivered in a big spot, and it feels like years at this point.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I have a hard time kind of being confident,
and not just to edge the sword in. I guess you could say. But am I exaggerating to say, like, since you've been watching baseball and seeing the Yankees play, and I know obviously, you're closely following the Mets, not the Yankees, but is this the worst stretch you've ever seen?
For the Yankees or just in general?
The Yankees.
I don't know, dude. I feel like last year there was a worse stretch.
But I feel like, I mean? Even those games, at least like they were scoring 2, maybe 3, but 1 run, and then the fact that this lull goes back longer than these 3 games.
I understand maybe like, they obviously, I think they've scored like, 7 runs in their past 9 games or something like that. But I feel like last year, I feel like last year was always like a 2-1 loss or a 3-4 loss. Like it was always a 1 run, and you had runners in scoring position in like the 7th inning, and you couldn't do anything about it. I think that was their entire season last year. And I feel like in terms of just a worse stretch, they definitely had like a longer stretch of like just eating shit last season, right? Like definitely.
I don't know, man. I swear it was more like 500, not 8-17. 8-17 is 9 under. I don't know. And then also, so obviously, these 2 losses now, that's another series loss.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 5 straight series for the first time since 1979.
No, it's not good, dude.
And also it's the first time that they've lost 6 straight quality starts, or their last 6 quality starts, since also that year as well. It was like during like Ron Guidry, pitching and stuff. So I mean,
It's a tough one, dude.
It goes without saying. The time is now, and patience is running out quickly for everybody involved with this. So we'll see what happens tonight. Herman on the mound versus old friend Corey Kluber, who has been getting a little lit up recently. I just looked, ERA at 4.4. So that offers some type of hope, I guess you could say. I mean, we saw him have his struggles with the Yankees last year at certain times. So fingers crossed we get that. But and we'll get back to that in a moment, Tony. But I know you're not excited to talk about this.
No.
And before we get to the Mets, I just would like you to read off our comment from Befer.
Oh,
your
yes,
best
of
friend
course.
these days.
Befer says, I guess the Mets lost 5-0 yesterday. And I mean, I'm sure everyone knows they did. So we'll talk about it, Brian. We'll talk about it. So I have a few gripes. Obviously we know, I guess I'll just start off by saying Atlanta, obviously we know is a good team here. But Charlie Morton looked like he was playing a fucking video game out there yesterday. I think he went 7 innings, obviously unearned baseball. I think he fanned a dozen, I believe. I think that's where it topped off. And he was just absolutely just like painting the lower part of the strike zone. I mean, every one of his pitches were working for him. And because of that, the Mets didn't really know what to do. And sometimes the pitcher is just that hot, even, later into the game, when Morton gets a little tired, he's just throwing balls, but you're not really expecting that at that point, I suppose. So there's a lot of swinging and missing towards, the later half of the game. So yeah, his final line was 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 walk, 12 Ks. He threw 97 pitches, 66 of them were strikes. It was obviously a really impressive outing for him. So you have to tip your hat to him. And of course, the usual suspects for Atlanta were the ones scoring. I mean, it was Matt Olson. He had a homer, RBI single. Dansby Swanson, I think, had an RBI double. So, obviously, you're going to face a Braves team that are good, and you want to kind of have your guys out there. First of all, I want to say your best guys, really. And yesterday, Brett Baty gets called up, and I guess they didn't play him, which is kind of weird. I don't know if you saw that, Brian, but
I did hear that he got the call.
It's big news. Got the call,
yeah.
Right? Who started at third base? This guy Marrero, who came over from Miami, Devin Marrero, 31 years old, has barely played this season at all. It's kind of weird that they would use him instead of Brett Baty. Like, why are you using this
because
guy?
At that point, yeah, why wouldn't you have? Because I always get confused about this. I know I was just alluding to this with the whole like Clay Holmes thing. Is there okay, so there is a maximum amount of pitchers you could have. So it's not, I was going to say like, oh, well, why wouldn't you just have a pitcher? But obviously you can't exceed a certain amount.
Number of pitchers, yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't make any sense if you're not going to play him. But maybe they just wanted him up there and then they're going to play him today. That's the only thing I can think of.
But why wouldn't you play him yesterday?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That doesn't make any sense.
Devin Marrero, 31 years old, has no production on this entire season, basically.
They had a hunch, he's feeling good. He maybe run into a couple of pitches.
And then also, you have this guy, RJ Alvarez, came over from Boston, 31 years old, hasn't really thrown a ball in the major league since like 2016.
Let's just throw him in there.
Why are we throwing him in there? After Walker gets hurt, by the way, second inning. So he's not going to give you much length. Okay. Why is he pitching? And then on top of that, dude, I understand, Brett Batty, he's like one of the top prospects in the minors. You have another top prospect in the minors in Alvarez. He's a catcher, but instead, you have Perez catching. Michael Perez came up from Pittsburgh. He's 30 years old. He has almost no production on the year with Pittsburgh. His average is 145. He has 6 home runs and 11 RBIs. Like what?
But see,
what are we doing?
This is good in a sense, Tony, because now you finally understand my frustration.
No, it's not good though.
No, it's not good. But I'm just saying, you understand what I'm saying. The Yankees do that stuff all the time with friggin' LeCastro and stuff. It's just like, you have talented guys, just bring them up.
Right?
Like, they just get way too cute with the moves.
I understand. You brought in 3 people who are not younger than 30 years old who suck to play against your probably biggest opponent right now.
And I saw an interesting tweet about this because the Mets kind of have been doing this. Maybe the Yankees are the worst at this with the prospects, but the Braves are actually the best team at accelerating guys through their system. They're already finalizing a contract extension with Michael Harris.
I saw that till like 2030.
And we know what Grisham's doing. And he said they've determined that the signing those extensions early are more valuable than getting an extra year of service time, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how teams don't follow that. So maybe it'll be a learning experience. And then, you lose to a team like the Braves. That should be a wake-up call for the Mets. Bring our guys up. And you would think Steve Cohen is smarter than that.
Like, what the fuck, dude? How could you think that this is okay to do that? You're literally like picking 2 horrible old players over 2 of the highly touted prospects in the minors.
Well, we have to add him to the 40.
Right. Oh, yeah. I bet, dude. So then obviously, with that, Walker got hurt, back spasms. I think it's kind of fucking weak if you ask me.
You're now, but see, we just had this conversation.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But it's one thing if it's like he had a bad outing and something, but it's like you fucking last 2 innings and you have back spasms, like you're fucking lazy. Because he's always been kind of lazy.
You don't want this man starting in the postseason.
I think at this point, maybe not, dude. Maybe thinking twice about it. But then, and then after that, you have Alvarez following him up. Like he gives 2 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. Oh wow, didn't see that coming. Nogasek comes in after him. He's just not good. He really should be in the roster at all. He goes 2 innings, 2 earned runs. And then Lugo comes in for an inning and 2/3 of good baseball, of no one-run baseball, because he's a decent reliever, and he's really the only one you have.
I think Prefer has more to say.
Yeah, he does. It's time for Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer to carry the Mets. Yes, this is the one good thing about the Mets the next couple of days, because this is a 4-game series right against the Braves. And the Mets have never lost a series against a divisional opponent this season. Obviously, they will have to win the next 2 games to keep that and just split with the Braves. Thankfully, Scherzer and deGrom are the next pitchers up, which are obviously your 1 and 2, your best pitchers. And hopefully the Mets can realize, let's get these older guys out and put in our young guys. Like, I don't understand. And then he says, are the 2022 Mets for real or will they disappoint? I think they're still for real. I think that they will learn to bring up Alvarez. I mean, Batty's got to be starting. Brett Batty has to be starting tonight. And I think he's going to absolutely kill it. And then hopefully they bring up Alvarez too, because the catcher they have, Perez. I mean, what are we doing with him? Get him out. Like, it's so stupid, dude. It's so stupid.
No, but I swear to God, that right there is probably one of the most annoying things that I've ever seen. Like I said, the same thing with the Yankees. It just doesn't make sense. And other than 40-man, other than, we want to make sure they're ready. Is that a result of teams just generally, obviously not the Braves, just coddling prospects too much? And they always think, they need this specific amount of time, and they don't just throw them in the fire like they used to back in the old days.
They should, dude. It's bullshit. It's so stupid. Imagine we had those young guys up last night who are producing, who are happy to be there, who are young and vibrant and energized, dude.
Vibes,
like, what the
Tony.
fuck,
Vibes.
dude?
We need vibes in New York right now.
Like, come on. I mean, and Buck's got to know better. I mean, he's got to be like, this is a stupid idea.
Yeah. I mean, you would think, right? I mean, of all the praise, he's received, but maybe this is one of those things that's out of his hands.
Yeah, maybe. And I understand, like, obviously, we talked about the Mets roster being predominantly older, but I mean, your older guys are like Marte and Scherzer, players who have been good for a while, players who've been playing a lot, players who have had success. Like, Perez hasn't had success. Alvarez hasn't had success. Alvarez hasn't fucking pitched. This is his first time in like 4 years, dude. Pitching. Crazy in the majors. It's like so stupid. And you have him against the Braves, or like probably one of the best lineups in the division.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna lose 5-0, and then with Charlie Morton having the night he did. I mean, you had fucking 3 hits. You had 3 hits in the night. Obviously not producing enough offense. And there's really no good to talk about from last night. There's no good.
Do you feel discouraged?
Discouraged? No. Disappointed in the loss last night for sure. I mean, there's still 2 more games left. We have our best pitchers on the mound for both of them, who have had success against the Braves in the past, mind you. And I would imagine that the Mets, front office and management kind of realize like these 3 old dudes we threw up there, have absolutely no business being on this team. They want to get their young guys in there.
Yeah. So hopefully, better night tonight. Obviously, the Yankees and the Mets back in action. I was just updating our standings for our picks. But while I'm doing that, Tony, if you wouldn't mind just starting with a preview of tonight's game and kind of your thoughts on how that's going to go for the Mets.
Sure, dude. So as I mentioned, we have Max Scherzer on the mound. His last outing against the Braves, 7 innings, no earned run, 11 Ks. I mean, that's a beautiful line right there. That's exactly what you want him to do again tonight. By the way, also on top of the no runs, 11 Ks, no walks, only 4 hits. I mean, that is phenomenal. And that was coming off of before that, he had a start of 6 2/3. Before that, he had the start against the Yankees, which was amazing. It was 7 innings, no earned runs again. So, clearly, this Max Scherzer guy doesn't really feel age, because he's been giving you length and he's been producing some really high octane baseball. So imagine that he would give you something along those lines again tonight. I mean, I'm looking for 7. I understand the Braves are hot right now, but if there's one thing that could stop them, it would be Max Scherzer. I'm sure he's pacing in the dugout right now. I think his line would be 7 innings again of no earned run baseball, giving 10 Ks, no walks, 3 hits. And then on the other side of the mound, we're going to have Jake Odorizzi for the Braves. Obviously, Jake used to be on the Astros. Producing, pretty well, I would say. His ERA in the season, excuse me, is a 3.8. He's 4-4. He's had 2 starts so far, with the Braves. One of them actually against the Mets in an 8-5 loss. He went 4 2/3, giving up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks. So, and after that, he pitched against Miami, 4 innings of 2 earned run baseball, 8 hits. So struggling, I guess, a little bit with the relocation here. Because back when he was in Houston, his last game he lasted 7 innings, no earned runs, 8 Ks. So it seems like, the change of scenery is maybe kind of still adjusting to. So I would hope at this point, maybe some Mets can kind of capitalize early. I'm looking at a Pete Alonso dinger, 2nd inning, setting the tone. I'll give him McNeil on base for it. So it'll be a 2-run homer. They'll go up 2-0 early, and then maybe quiet until the 5th inning when Jake is still in it, trying to kind of prove himself to go some length with the Braves. And then, dare I say it, I don't want to jinx anything, but Batty, 5th inning, 1st home run. It's a New York Met.
You're feeling it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Especially because, you're getting the call up. They're not starting you anyway. You're kind of pissed off. And now you really want to be there to prove yourself. Like some 30-year-old hack starts over you. Get out of town, dude. He's going to be tight. He's going to be excited to play. I'm telling you. Dinger. 5th inning.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a welcomed,
Oh, yeah.
sight for the Mets, and obviously you got to feel pretty good about having Scherzer on the mound.
Oh, yeah.
Back against the wall here, losing your first two
Mhm.
games against the Braves. Lead is it 3.5, 4.5?
It's 3.5 now.
3.5. Okay. So we'll see. If the Mets can take advantage of that. In terms of the Yankees, like I mentioned. Last game of this series with the Rays and an old friend Corey Kluber, 7-7, 4.4 on the year, going against Domingo Germán, 1-2, 4.18. And it's just one of those things where, and I know I've felt like this for the past week. This has to be a game where the bats get going. But I just think the reason why I feel a little better than I have, the last couple of days, and especially after seeing the disasters that they've been, is the fact that, help is on the way. And my predictions, and I'm sure I'll probably be wrong, Andujar is the only variable, but this is what I'm going to say. So we know Holmes to the IL. So I'm going to imagine, Marinaccio up. And then I think Marwin and LeCastro designated. And the Yankees finally show that they're going to be bold and they're going to make changes and they're going to do stuff to improve the team. In comes Florial. In comes Cabrera. And I think Florial starts in center field. Cabrera starts at third base. And DJ's back in the lineup at second. Glaber shifts over to designated hitter. And I think, honestly, they're fired up. They had a team meeting, I think, last week in Seattle. And I think they have another team meeting before this game. They get fired up. And I think it's finally, like I said, LeMahieu back in the lineup, leadoff single. Judge comes up, 2-run dinger, 2-0. And they tag Kluber for 6 earned runs and actually get another Anthony Rizzo home run, something they haven't seen in a little bit. And I want to say, Cabrera gets his first major league hit. Florial goes 2 for 4. And it ends up being, Germán will go 6 innings, 3 earned. The Rays are due to score some more runs as well. But I think at the end of the day, 8-4 Yankees. Finally, I mean, you think about 8 runs. I mean,
Wow.
they scored 8 in their last 9. I mean, or 6, whatever it is. But I think 8 runs tonight finally get that win here for their 73rd of the season, and everybody can just finally breathe some sigh of relief. And hopefully, like I said, we'll see Stanton next week, and got a big series coming up with Toronto, who has, under the radar, because obviously, a Canadian team and, the AL East, obviously, all the talk's been about the Yankees this year, have really been scuffling. Lost again last night, and they're actually now in 3rd place in the division with the Rays overtaking them. So the Yankees lead over the Rays right now 9 games. So win tonight, back to 10, double digits, kind of a reset. And then, this Toronto series, and I know Toronto is struggling, but for some reason, it seems like Vladdy and, Bichette always seem to give us trouble. So I don't think that's going to be easy, but at least I feel good. Their pitching kind of sucks. So I hope we're facing Jose Barrios. I haven't looked it up, but I would imagine we'd be able to tag him. So might be coming at a good time, because I think the difference in pitching you'll see from Tampa to Toronto, is pretty dramatic of a difference. So fingers crossed, but it's got to start tonight. And I can't wait to see Oswaldo Cabrera make his major league debut, and Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks to ride the pine. But let's see what happens. 7:05 on Yes tonight. Tony, what do you got for number 2 here?
Before we go for number 2, can we get the update on the records here?
Oh yeah. So we actually once again both went 2-2.
All right.
Last night.
Look
so
at
you
us.
retain your 1-game lead here, 11-7 versus or no, not. Oh wow.
Oh,
Or
no.
11. Wait, I'm sorry. Just give me a second.
Oh.
I know you get tight. But that doesn't make sense.
Such a schneister.
Okay, 12-7. My mistake. That makes
Give me the mess.
What does that make? Oh no. I know.
12-7 makes
I sound
19.
ridiculous, Tony. You got me. But it's 11-8,
Mariano
10-9.
Rivera,
You had a 1-game lead.
number
both
42.
2-2. Makes sense. Equal amount of games. Nothing to be said.
Okay, dude. All right. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals tonight. They're hosting the Rockies, and the Cardinals, I feel like some good acquisitions, trade deadline here. I think they're a game up now in Milwaukee for the lead in the Central Division here, which is obviously pretty impressive because I think Milwaukee, maybe a month ago or before the trade deadline had a decent lead in here, and the Cardinals are kind of on the chase sort of deal. Now they're a game up, and I think Milwaukee is even a game now behind in the wild card spot behind San Diego, which, I mean, if you ask me, I think the Padres are going to be done for the season, to be honest. But anyway, Monty on the mound here for the Cardinals. I guess I'm kind of hopping on the Monty train. I was looking at his stats. There was, the statistic came out that he has a better ERA than Garrett Cole right now. And I think he's pretty fired up to be in St. Louis in a Cardinals jersey and against Colorado. I mean, you think about the difference in offensive production between both teams, and then Germán Marquez on the mound. For the Rockies, his ERA is a touch above 5. He's going to have 21 home runs, 137 hits over 127 and 2/3 innings, 44 walks. I feel like that's not really any great numbers, and I think St. Louis will be able to pounce on them. And mind you, I believe this is the second game of the series so far, and they beat them last night 5-4. So I would expect, honestly, St. Louis to win with a better start for Monty here. So I would say St. Louis wins, let's say 6-2.
Sometimes fans, get spiteful. Guys on their team, they leave. You look at Joey Gallo. I think he hit another home run last night. Obviously, we know the success that Montgomery's had, through those first 2 starts with the Cardinals. But you know what? Good for him. I think, despite, I know he was chirping at Boone, but honestly, I'm not a big Boone guy to begin with. So happy for Monty. Hope he has continued success with the Cardinals. And hey, maybe we'll see them in the World Series. You never know. Obviously, we got to get on track first. But I am going to go here with the Phillies. Reds, they won yesterday. Suarez has been hot. I know you were down on him, but he's really hit a good stretch here. I think he's a younger, talented pitcher. So I just think the Reds are trash. I mean, they folded before the season started. This is a 12:35 game, actually, in Cincinnati. Lodolo on the hill for the Reds, but Schwarber, I guess, is going to be out of the lineup through Friday. We got Castellanos, maybe Segura. So, I think the Phillies will tag them. It doesn't matter. Real Muto, maybe a couple hits. Bryson Stout. I'm going to say Phillies 9, Reds 2. Reds are trash. Phillies look pretty good right now.
Okay. And the next pick, I'm going to double down, I believe, with Seattle. I believe I picked them last night, too. They're against L.A., the Angels, if you will. And the Angels talk about a team that sucks ass. It's the Angels, and it's a shame. We talk about them all the time. They're having, they have 2 of like the best players in baseball, basically, and they can't produce any type of winnage here. But they're playing Seattle. George Kirby on the mound for Seattle, and Seattle did win last night, by the way. But George Kirby on the mound here, decent stats, a 3.39 ERA. He's 4-3 in the season. Younger guy, 24 years old. He's a righty, and it's just his last few outings. I'm looking at specifically 2 outings ago against the Angels, where it was a 2-1 victory. Went 6 innings, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, and I think it was like a sac fly RBI or something. He didn't give any home runs, didn't give up the long ball or anything. So I would imagine he doesn't have much of an issue here with LA again tonight. I would say, give me some more length out of him. Maybe 7 innings, 1 earned run here with 9 Ks. I know we have Tuki Toussaint, who came over actually from Atlanta to the Angels. He was pitching all right. I mean, his last outing, he doesn't give you much length. So that's kind of why I feel like, Angels bullpen kind of sucks. So, I mean, what are they going to do with that? So I feel like, Ty France again, capitalizing. Seattle wins this one 3-1. 3-1, we'll call it.
Yeah, I was eyeing that one. One I'm going to go with here, and it's almost like the Yankees with turning it around. Toronto's too talented here. I know the Orioles look great. Voth on the mound for Baltimore, 3-1, 5.34. Stripling's been better for the Blue Jays, 5-3, 3.16. So you have a representative starting pitcher on the mound, and that offense is due to get going. I'm really shocked. I thought Vladdy, might be having the type of season that Judge is having this year, but it hasn't been. But I think today is a day where he finally gets going. Give him 2 home runs. I think this is actually a bloodbath. Orioles, have been playing over their heads here, and Voth is trash. So give me Toronto here. Let's say 8-3 with Vlad Guerrero Jr. With 2 home runs.
All right, let's do it. This is our last pick, right?
Yeah.
Number 4 here. I think I'm gonna go with the Red Sox tonight, actually. Rich Hill on the mound, dude.
Oh boy, the Rich Hill fan club.
That's right, dude. And they're playing the Pirates, and the
Pirates are trash.
Pirates are kind of trash. They beat them last night 5-3. Pivetta, I think, threw 7 shutout innings last night, and then I think the bullpen was struggling maybe a little bit, but regardless, I feel like Red Sox here, they've won 4 out of the last 5. Okay. We've seen what they could do early in the season with the amount of offense they were producing, with the poor pitching they had. I feel like they can kind of, start to pull that out again. And I'm not sure. I know Trevor Story's on the IL, but I feel like where the hell has he been, dude?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
don't know. But I mean, Devers, you got Bogarts.
Devers and Bogarts, obviously, at the helm of their offense. And I think they're going to, JD
sucked this year, though. I think he has 9 homers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've always liked him, though. We wanted him for the Mets.
So he's still a good hitter. Yeah. Anyway, dude, and I feel like the Red Sox, they're really gonna turn this around. Rich Hill here. I want to look at his last start. Not really giving you a lot of length here, and giving up some runs. Nevertheless, I say the Red Sox take tonight's game against Pittsburgh 7-5.
There you go. Last pick here. Gotta go with the Dodgers. Hottest team in baseball right now. Tony Gonsolin, 14-1.
Does not lose, dude.
Does not lose. Eddie Lauer on the hill for the Brewers, 8-4, 3.64. But yeah, like what the Dodgers are doing. I mean, they're even getting home runs from Joey Gallo. So yeah, I think Dodgers here. I think Gonsolin gives them 7 strong, 2-run ball. Bets. Maybe height and maybe 4 hits for him. And give me the Dodgers here. I'm gonna say 5-3 over the Brewers.
Love it.
So yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. Hopefully it is a better day on the diamond for both the Yankees and the Mets, because we both know they really could use it. But that being said, Tony, the only other thing I wanted to mention here is tomorrow, second leg, second out of 3 events in the FedEx Cup playoffs, BMW Championship. And this one is in Delaware, actually. Wilmington Country Club never hosted a PGA Tour event before.
Are they worthy?
I think there's some history, goes back to some amateur tournaments, this and that. I think, yeah, because I think you want to throw new courses in the mix. It's a course that's been around a while. So I think, have a new look, a new experience for everybody. And it's just like, then you have a spot where everybody's on the same footing, in terms of having not played it before, they don't know what to expect. And I think that kind of, gives you an even playing field. So, and obviously too, field was reduced from 125 to 70, which I guess now is 69 with Cam Smith pulling out. So, but other than that, I mean, you have all your usual suspects, in contention here. Just to name a few, obviously Tony Finau, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Will Zalatoris, coming off that first win last week. You have John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Sungjae Im, Tom Kim, Adam Scott. So like I said, all the big names, Victor Hovland, Joakim Niemann, Cam Young, Max Homa, Adam Scott, like I said. So a lot of different ways to go here, but I'm going to go Tony Finau. I just like the consistency we've seen out of him. Finally breaking through with these victories. And I think he gets another one this week, and puts himself in good position for that $15 million prize.
Love it.
What do you got, sir?
Pick, dude? I know I kind of like Finau, but how do you feel about Young? You think you got a shot? You guys have shot, honestly.
You know, the only reason I don't like him, there's some
Live tour.
Well, there's some rumors about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just feel like, usually with that,
I know
the guys don't win.
Give me Young, dude. Take a shot.
Rom or Young? I'm
Young.
sorry. Young. Technical difficulties over here.
Oh fuck! I didn't tell you, dude. That headphones work. Those headphones work. The boom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now that
I kind of thought you would have when I put them there, I was like this, and yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, loud and clear.
Yeah,
nice.
Kind of forgot that you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. Hey. But you know what? We've managed through.
Yeah.
So hey, we'll take it. But we'll see if Cameron Young can get the job done here. And I can't wait for this golf tournament. And then we get down to 30 golfers. To really finish out this PGA Tour season, which has obviously been one of the more interesting ones with everything that's going on with LIV, that we've ever seen. So we'll see what happens. Gets underway tomorrow. We'll get you a leaderboard update. Yes. Obviously NFL preseason rolls on. I think we got some more games tomorrow.
Zach Wilson, successful surgery.
I'm expecting the flak attack though against the Ravens. I think
take it easy, dude.
And he had a great practice yesterday. On the fan, they're very ho-hum about him starting. They want to see Zach Wilson, this and that. But
why is everyone so ho-hum? Here's the Ravens. Is that why?
No, just because it's like, he's washed up. He doesn't care. But it's like, I don't know, man. I think when you have a guy like Joe Flacco that's been written off by the league pretty much to say, he can't be a starting quarterback anymore, and then you're given an opportunity to start, I think you're fired up and you want to show other teams, hey, you want to trade for me? I'll start for you right now.
Yeah, that's true. And some teams probably would take him. Although it was kind of a far fall from grace for him, I feel.
Yeah, he had the disc issue, with the Broncos and then calling out the coach. And boy, actually, I think it's been a while. I mean, I guess that was the last time he won a start, but I know he's 0-5 with the Jets. But obviously, we know what he's had to work with. I just think, I don't know, he could be competitive, with the roster that he has around him. But we will see, Tony. Football around the corner. Can't wait for week 1.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah, for some wangs, as Matthew would say.
It's gonna be fun.
And it just, everybody starts out in the same spot, and it's what you make of it. And I think that's what's so refreshing, because we know, we've seen it many times. I think the Jets maybe and the Giants, I don't know if they've won a game in like September, like the last like 3 or 4 years at least, honestly. So it's always like, at least for week 1, there's optimism. And obviously we know Wilson being a big question mark, maybe he misses the first game or two. But what do you, I know it's hard to say, but obviously we've seen the last 5 years, both teams really struggle offensively. If you had to guess, who ends up averaging more points per game this year, the Giants or the Jets?
Oh, I guess the Jets.
Which is crazy, because who do they ever average more points against? But I just think they finally have a roster.
Yeah, like with the offensive pieces they kind of drafted, they picked up. I mean,
if not now,
when, right?
Yankees 5 runs tonight.
Yeah,
they're back.
Yeah.
Please. But hey, Tony, we will see. Other than that, anything else you have for us?
I don't think so, dude.
Yeah. Just another great show.
Yeah, another great day.
The week moves along here, and like I said, good vibes for the Yankees and the Mets tonight. We'll talk about it with you guys tomorrow, but we really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out the archives on the YouTube page, as well as our summer collection, as well as the summer collection at downtimetv.com. Yours truly, Anthony Schmanthony. I like that one. But everybody enjoy the day. Enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees and Mets. And we will see you. Mania.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.